Hey, what's up? Welcome to Comic Book Spoilers, and what a weekend. I mean, it's early Thanksgiving. We get Justice League and the Punisher. Flip sides of the coin. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's get into it. So, the analogy I've come up with is I kind of ordered my dessert before dinner, meaning Justice League was this ice cream sundae with peanuts and sprinkles and chocolate chips and chocolate sauce and caramel and strawberries and a cherry on top, your little Superman. And then Punisher is this raw steak. It was tough to chew, it was bloody, it was dense with all kinds of realness. Nothing like what you would get in Justice League, which, like I said, it was all, just sugar. But Punisher, it had that real life sensibility. He's not wearing a cape and a mask. He's just a damaged human being. I mean, they went the Jessica Jones route and then pushed it even further. So, big ups to Marvel and Netflix taking the comic book genre once again to a new end of its limit. This was more of a crime drama and reflection on our society today as far as terrorism, gun violence, mental health, states of community in fear, and the climate of, this almost gaslighting effect that people are talking about. So I'm real happy that not only is this series entertaining and highlights a comic book character that many people are fond of, but it also creates content that anyone can deal with problems by watching it. You can kind of heal, expose yourself to this fantasy version of real life threats and see someone with the commitment and the means to do something about it. Him and his friend, they do something outside the lines, in the gray area. They go at their enemy with the same tenacity and ferocity that their enemy would show to them. And I don't know if it's heroic, but it's inspirational, it's emotional. I can't believe that in this day and age, Disney would be brave enough to put out something like this that is so counterculture. But hey man, we got it tight. So let's just run through some of our characters. I thought Billy was a cool, you gotta have an antithesis of your hero, and he was sadistic, he was double-crossing, all kinds of people, and he was out for himself, and he was a very capable villain, so that by the end, when the showdown happens, man, you're really hoping that Frank can pull one out against this guy. Similarly, you had Lewis, who was a minor threat, but just once again, we're dealing with real life like scenarios, and this is a scary kid who also has the means to do a lot of damage, but the way he does damage, it's just a little further into the gray area of morality as the Punisher, to the point that you can't back what this guy's doing as far as using bombs and hitting innocents, whereas Punisher's vengeance, his revenge, is purely personal. He's purely going after the people who have blood on their hands and who have wronged him personally, and he knows the ins and outs of the mission in a way that this Lewis character, he never really thought it out. He just decided that he was going to take action. So I love the contrast between these two. You also had the veteran CIA intelligence captain, Agent Russell, who was very intimidating, who was able to keep himself composed in front of the right people, but was a psychopath behind the curtain. And his relationship to Frank, and as they mentioned, how Castle was the first person to make him feel that fear of death that he made so many other people feel, and he wanted to get back at Frank for making him feel the fear of death, and he wanted Frank to feel that way too. And he wasn't the strongest villain, but it was interesting to see Frank Castle, the Punisher, go against a guy who was just pure evil, more so than Billy, who was kind of just this narcissistic kid who, wanted him out of his way. This guy really had it in for Frank. David Lieberman's character was awesome. I loved their dynamic and how he wedged his way into Frank's life. I mean, Frank isn't a trusting guy, so he knew that this was going to be a battle just to gain his trust and acceptance. But once they started working together, he had so many guy in the chair moments. I loved their relationship, and it was a bit odd to see Frank, go over to his house and interact with his family. It got a little strange at times, but it was an interesting take on their friendship in that he was kind of sending a message in a bottle, sending this guy's love to his family when he was unable. So that was actually kind of sweet, as strange as it was. Another favorite character of mine was Agent Dina Madani. I mean, you knew right away when she pulled up in that old school muscle car that she was going to be badass, and she delivered. She was a captivating actress and performer and an interesting character. She had the resolve that was unheard of in the intelligence community, and her conviction to get things done, it was also super heroic. So, everyday heroes, that's one of the things that Netflix does really well. So big ups to that actress, that whoever wrote that character, that was awesome, dope. I want to see more of her in the future. Punisher Series 2, who knows, is Billy going to come back as the Jigsaw guy that we saw in Lexi Alexander's Punisher movie, Warzone? Who knows? Gotta wait and find out. Is there going to be a season 2 of this show? Is Disney going to pull it off in Netflix? I'm crossing my fingers. And of course, the Punisher himself, Jon Bernthal. Oh my God, what a G, what a great performer, what a mesmerizing actor. He gave so many visceral performances. His sadness, his anger, his joy, he hits all ends of the emotional spectrum, and he has a commanding presence. What a great find. What a great dude. Love this guy. I want to see him get more roles. I want to see him just take over the action universe. Give this guy every part. He's awesome. So yeah, that's most of my thoughts. I have no real big complaints except for all Netflix shows. It gets a little slow towards the end. I'd say episodes 9 through 11 were, they could have wrapped things up a little quicker. Maybe they need to cut these whole series down to 10 episodes each. Who knows? But yeah, very small complaint to have. I mean, it's only more to love as far as, looking at the other way. So put that in perspective. I'll probably rewatch it again sometime soon. Let it, drift out of my memory, and then reabsorb it, take it back in, give it some love. Yeah, so what a weekend. Punisher, Justice League, loving it all. Oh boy. We got the holidays coming up, so if you want to treat yourself or a loved one to something real cool. Speaking of skulls, we got Kalaka. He's taking on the cartels. He's saving Mexico from the coup d'etat. He's making his own partners in crime fighting, so check it out. KalakaComic.com, RasqacheArt.com. You can also follow me on the Twitters at Rasqache Art and on the Instagrams at Dr. Rasqacho. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.